Will the inventory rebound in 2022? Let's discuss. Hey guys, what's up? It's James J, the Texas Mortgage Boss, and today we're going to talk about inventory. We're going to jump a little bit into interest rates. A couple articles I want to address today that I came across, and then I kind of give you my input at the end and my opinion on what's going to happen for the next few months and into the end of 2022, the end of the year. Got a lot going on. I'm going to stay positive with this because we keep hearing all the negativity around rates and inflation, and it is what it is. So I think what we need to really do is just pivot right now, right? All of us. That means home buyers, home sellers, mortgage, real estate professionals. We all have to pivot because this is not new. Not new in the sense that we've seen high rates before. That's not new. We've seen inflation before. That's not new. Home prices going up like they have over the last few years is pretty unique that they've gone up so much. And what's unique about this entire market that we're in right now is we've got all three things going on at the same time, right? So it leads to a lot of frustration, a lot of stress, and a lot of just doom and gloom, it seems. But there's light coming, guys. I promise you. So let's jump in, take a look at the first article that I wanted to share with you guys, which comes from List Reports. Okay. So this is talking about inventory, right? Will the inventory of homes for sale rebound in 2022? Now, I'm going to take a few things from this article specifically because I think it's super important. So, are homes coming to the market in 2022? Well, in a normal year, which this is nothing but normal, normally, right, homes for sale become more plentiful sometime between around July and September. In my opinion, I really think that starts in the early spring, which is where we are now on a normal market, right? Early part of spring, we start to see more homes come on the market and into the summer. And then we start to see a little bit of a slowdown as September rolls around and then more in October. But an inventory peak in late summer or early fall is the most likely scenario. That's according to Jeff Zucker from Zillow. You know, take what you want. It's Zillow. Take it with a grain of salt. Okay. 64% of prospective home buyers plan to sell their properties by the end of August. That's according to Realtor.com report. Better news, 43% of those that are planning to sell have expected prices below $350,000. Now, depending on what market you're in, 350 may get you nothing, right? I'm in Houston. We've got several homes that are 350 or less, but that is typically where first time buyers are going to start, 350 and below. In our market, if you're trying to get anything under 350 or even under 300, it is very challenging. You got to be super aggressive and you have to have your stuff together. In different markets, even within Houston, even within Texas as a whole, it's going to depend. Some places in Houston, you're not going to find anything for 350, right? You're not going to find a thing for 350. So it just really depends on the market. But overall, most first time buyers are going to be under 350. Again, if you're in one of these high cost areas, I just talked to one of my coaches a few days ago. He's in Washington State. They don't have anything under 350. They don't have anything on honestly where he's at. He said maybe under 500 is a struggle. Denver is another place. So anyway, just really depends on the market. Let's continue. According to Len Kiefer, who's a chief economist with Freddie Mac, buyers have been thrown for a loop with this frenetic housing market and how fast homes are selling. In his opinion, he thinks that there's going to be a typical season. Again, what typical means, I think we're going to have a new typical, right? We're going to have a new normal in the housing market. But I know I've seen it over and over and over again. I have a lot of clients that are shopping and they are very, very frustrated. But there is light at the end of this tunnel. I promise it's coming. Can't say exactly when it's coming, but it is coming. Okay. Danielle Hell, who is a chief economist at Realtor.com, she also expects to have inventories increase a little bit this year. So, because of the rising interest rates, of course, we know that's going to slow down the housing market a little bit, which is a good thing. Now, let me say this: it's not a good thing that rates are going up, right? Obviously, rates go up, buying power goes down. It's not good in that sense. It is good in the sense that we're going to see a little slowdown, which will give the opportunity for maybe first time home buyers to get into the market. Okay. Yes, it sucks that rates are going up. I understand. But you could always refinance if rates come down, right? Are we going to head into this recession? I think we are, but there's still opportunity. In any of these markets, there's always opportunity. We just have to shift our mindset from, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, to, okay, what do I need to do to take advantage of what's going on right now? Because it is what it is. You can't change it. I can't change it. Do we wait? Maybe that's the best decision for you. For some people, it's still a good decision to move forward and get into housing because you lock in your principal and interest payment when you have a mortgage. I cannot emphasize this enough. You lock in your principal and interest payment forever. It doesn't change unless you sell the home, refinance it. Um, it's really about it, right? That does not change. Principal and interest, I'm talking principal and interest. I'm not talking tax and insurance. That's a different story. That could fluctuate a little, but I'm talking principal and interest. Okay. Let's continue. So Jeff Zucker, who is again senior economist at Zillow, he states again he thinks the housing market is going to normalize a little bit into late summer. Existing home sales are going to start to increase a little bit because what's going to happen is this: rates are going to go up. People are going to stop buying quite as much. Hopefully, that gives these builders enough time to build. Now, it's going to take a while before we catch up from the lack of inventory we've got right now. That's not going to happen this year. It's going to take a little while. I'm talking a year to maybe longer for us to actually catch up. Okay, so the interest rate factor. Obviously, this is the topic of every news channel: interest rates, interest rates, interest rates. Okay, interest rates is obviously going to drop affordability. I just mentioned that. Okay, the higher the interest rate, the lower you can afford. That's how it works. But those interest rates going up is, again, it's a good opportunity for people to get into the market. It's a good opportunity for some builders to start to slowly catch up from the lack of inventory we have. But it has an impact on your qualifications. So you want to make sure that if you were qualified a few months ago, you need to do that again, even a couple months ago at this point, right? You need to get requalified to see where you're at because these interest rates are just going all over the place to a point where you may no longer qualify for what you qualified for back in January, February, right? Rates are they're different now. So you want to make sure you get with your lender, whoever that is. If you got a question about that, I can help you. But whoever you're using, make sure you get with them, requalify yourself, see where you're at now, because this is a constant moving target right now. So keep that in mind. Let's jump into interest rates real quick because I want to take a look at this. I'm going to read a couple things. This is coming from MBS Live, Mortgage Backed Securities Lab. Really good chart here looking at interest rates, right? So this is going back to 1994. I know a lot of people don't really like to look historically at interest rates. I do. I love to look at historical numbers because I really think it helps us get perspective on where things are. So that's dating back to 1994. Let me move this over because you can't really see where the actual rate is. Okay, so 1995, and so we're looking at interest rates. Okay, so this is back in 1994, and this is where we are today, slightly over 4%. But you can see back, so this is where the crash was, right? '05, right in here is where that crash was. And rates were up here. That's six. I know I got an interest rate of 6.5 back in 2006. I bought a home. And then of course we know what happened after that. Rates just started to tank, go down, 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 and now we're back up. Okay, so I don't like to be doom and gloom. I really hate what's going on, but listen, news channels are going to only share the negative for the most part. That's what sells. The negative stuff is what sells. I want to stay on the positive. Okay, so one of the things, take a quick look at here. I'm going to read this word for word because I think it's that important. Okay, this is talking about the Fed increase in the federal funds rate specifically, but that's not the one I want to talk about. Okay, I want to look at this real quick because this is talking about the 10-year Treasury and the 2-year. Okay, 10-year versus 2-year. Interest rates tend to follow the 10-year Treasury. So as the 10-year Treasury tends to go up, interest rates tend to follow. Okay, that is typically what happens over a 50-year history. Okay, mortgage rates care more about the 10-year because tenure speaks to trends in the longer term rates. Okay. Longer term rates, i.e., mortgage. That's what that means. Okay. Let's get to what I want to discuss real quick, and then we're going to wrap this up. So, right here, wouldn't be the first time we've seen such a paragraph. This is talking about the bonds that are being purchased by the government. So, what happens is, government, the more they purchase bonds, the better it is for interest rates. As they start purchasing less and less bonds, the worse it is for interest rates. And that's where we are right now. So they increase the, as they start buying more and more bonds, these mortgage backed securities, they typically go inverse with interest rates. So typically interest rates are going down, but government's pulling back on purchasing bonds right now. Okay. So that's not a good thing for us in the real estate industry as far as rates go. And as far as buyers, right? We know we buyers want the lowest interest rate possible. I get it. But this is always, there's always ebbs and flows with interest rates and these markets. So let's keep it going here. So last thing I want to talk about here on this article is how well will have long-term rates priced in the future. Okay. How well have long-term rates priced in the future? Okay. According to everyone, the outlook has really caused a lot of extra upward movement in interest rates, right? So once that outlook stabilizes, rates will probably already be coming back down. Unfortunately, there's no telling if that sort of thing that will happen in a few weeks, a few months, or if it fits and starts throughout the year. Okay, so that is really just saying we don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't know. All the experts who predict this type of stuff, we got to take it with a grain of salt because we don't really know what might happen. We didn't know there was going to be a war in Ukraine. We didn't know. We don't know what's going to happen in a month or 2 months. We don't know. But over history, okay, just looking at the history here, as the federal funds rate gets cut, usually interest rates are a little bit lower as well. All right, it's not a exact science to where rates get cut on the federal funds rate, interest rates go down. Okay, again, interest rates are more tied to the 10-year than they are the federal funds rate. Federal funds rate really has more of an impact on short-term money. That's car loans, personal loans, that type of thing, not an interest rate per se. But there is some impact as you see these federal funds rates, which is what the projection is to get up to about 2.25 by the end of the year. We'll see if that happens. We were at 0 at the beginning of the year. Okay. And that's federal funds rate. I'm not talking interest rates. So we'll see what ends up happening. Ultimately, guys, figure out what works for you. Okay. If that means you wait right now, if that means get into the market right now, as challenging as it may be, it still may be worth the time to get into the market right now. Because again, I will continue to tell you this. Yes, interest rates are going up, so are rents. Interest rates are going up, so are rents. So where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? You got to live somewhere. So if you have the ability to afford the payment right now, no matter what the interest rate is, because remember, as rates come down, you can refinance. Don't think you can't refinance. You can refinance if it comes down. If that doesn't happen, then you're in a situation where you're continuing to either pay rent as they go up, right? Rents continue to go up. If interest rates go up, you're just lowering your buying power. So my encouragement is to get into the market as soon as that makes sense for you, whenever that is. If you're a realtor, you've got clients, this is my encouragement for them too, because I know you guys as realtors are having to educate and counsel your clients on this stuff. So remember, just let them know. If you're financially ready, you have the money to get in, get in. I think you really need to make sure you're mentally ready to do almost battle as this market is very challenging. And so don't think you're going to get something right off the bat. Just be prepared for the long haul. Just understand when it's all said and done, it's worth it. It will be worth it. So please make sure you guys subscribe, like this video for the algorithm. Please comment, give me some comment, give me some feedback. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts on this year? What are your thoughts on the spring and summer market? And do you plan on getting into a home in 2022, or are you going to sit out and wait and see what happens going into 2023? Okay, as always, guys, I'm here to help. please reach out to me if you've got questions, and I'll see you guys on the next video.